We're back in another episode of The Space, a mindfulness podcast that's not like the others. I'm your host, Casey Donovan. Alongside our writer, Amy Malloy, we use our Wednesdays to say a whole lot of yes, with mindfulness tips for positivity and being present. Tonight goes against the theme of this podcast. We're going to talk about the downsides of yes. Hands up if you're a yes person. You'll know if you are. You're currently working at midnight. You're baking cookies for the kids' preschool. Your to-do list is unending. You're doing the things you swore you wouldn't do again. You may have become a yes person even before you became an adult. We also still have a childlike part of ourselves. This is according to Dr. Nicole LaPera, known as the holistic psychologist and author of the book How to Do the Work. This inner child can run rampant in our adult life in response to a childhood trauma that we haven't addressed yet. Doesn't have to be a huge thing. A conversation you had as a 5-year-old. A relationship you observed in your parents. The way you were treated by a teacher. All these things can stick with us. Nicole breaks it down into 7 inner child archetypes. She outlines them all in her book. But tonight, we're going to talk about one. You guessed it, the yes person. This is always the happy and cheerful comedic person who never shows pain, weakness, or vulnerability, says Nicole. It's likely that the inner child was shamed for their emotional state, she says. They believed that the only way to feel okay and receive love is to make sure that everyone is happy around them. Sound familiar? According to Nicole, you can start to challenge this. The goal is to rebuild your connection to your inner child, she says. One way to do it is to write your inner child a letter. If you can't be bothered to get out of bed, don't worry. We also have one that you can listen to here. Step 1. Let's recap how a yes personality can look. A yes person drops everything and neglects all their needs in the service of others, shares Nicole. They probably observed self-sacrifice during their childhood. They believe the only way to receive love is to be both good and selfless. If this sounds familiar and it feels like it's getting in the way of your happiness, try listening to this letter written by Nicole every morning for a week. It only takes 10 seconds. Or write and record your own version, which could be even more powerful. This is the letter. Dear little yes person, I know you have felt you have had to say yes whenever someone asks you to do something. Maybe hang out, loan your favourite dress, or do them a favour. I know it makes you feel like a bad person if you really want to say no. You don't have to do this anymore. You are allowed to say yes or no. You can choose based on how you feel in that moment and what you really want to do. You can say no and still be loved. I see you. I hear you. I love you always. From your wise adult self. You might listen to this letter on the regular, or you can save it for when your yes tendencies are triggered. You can still be a yes person when you really want to. Remove your childhood hang-ups so you can also say no with confidence. You've been listening to The Space with me, Casey Donovan. We're back tomorrow with another mood-boosting episode. Don't drink the comparison Kool-Aid. Until then, space out.